Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Measure B information session here for Calexico High School and for Calexico Unified School District. If you need interpreter, you can get the headphones from our interpreter in the back. Can you hear me okay? There's an echo up here. I can't hear. And we're going to get started in just a few moments. And there are handouts in the back also. Well, again, welcome. My name is Maya Randall. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services here for Calexico Unified School District, and I'm going to be making this presentation for you this evening regarding the Measure B and information. But before we get started, I'm going to introduce our superintendent, Ms. Maria Reese.
Good afternoon, good evening, buenas tardes.
Our Executive Cabinet, Mr. Carlos Gonzalez, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources and Risk Management. Here to my right. Also, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Mrs. Elisa Ramirez. I'd also like to introduce our board members that are present. Our board president, Mr. Eric Ortega. Also, board member, Ms. Norma Aguilar. And again, I would like to welcome you to this meeting, this information meeting regarding Measure B. So this is a look at our agenda for this evening. We're going to talk about the purpose of our town hall meeting. We're going to take a look at our current facilities and the FAQs, or frequently asked questions, regarding Measure B, specifically what is Measure B. And we're going to have some community engagement, questions and answers, and we will adjourn from here and then take a trip across the way for the rededication of Garner Gym for the modernization ribbon cutting. So the purpose of our town hall meeting today is to provide information about the Calexico Unified School District's facilities needs. To provide information about the current bond Measure B on the November 8th ballot, to encourage community engagement, and to answer community questions. But before we get into that, I have a question. How many people know what Starbucks is or drink from Starbucks? Or buy anything from Starbucks? Can somebody, like your favorite drink and maybe a muffin, can you tell me how much that costs at Starbucks? If you drove through, how much would it cost? Can somebody just guess or tell me? $4.75. Say more time? $4.75. $4.75. Okay, so remember that for later. Okay, how many people know Subway? Subway? Eat at Subway? Okay. And your favorite sub, chips and a drink, how much? Yes, take a guess. Anybody? $8.50? Who said $8.50? Okay, so you remember that for later. Okay, how about a ticket to Disneyland? How much think you pay for a ticket to Disneyland? How many of us love it? Anybody? $110? Okay, who said $110? Remember that for later, okay? Okay, so just keep those in mind. So we're going to take a look at the current status of the Calexico Unified School District facilities. Currently, we have 6 elementary schools, which are Blanche Charles, Cesar Chavez, Dual, Jefferson, Kennedy Gardens, and Broadwood. I'm sorry, 7. I'm missing one. Mays. We have 2 junior high schools, Enrique Camarena in Willie Moreno. We have one high school, Calexico High School, our 9 through 12, that's inclusive of all, and our continuation school, Aurora High School. Back in 2013, the district did a analysis or a facilities master plan where we had a consultant come in and we took a look at all of our facilities to see, what are the needs, what types of improvements do we need as a school district. So as a part of that facilities master plan, there were advice from the consultant to do tear downs for modernization, and the cost of all of that was in excess at that time in 2013 in excess of $190 million to upgrade the facilities at the school district-wide. Well, that's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. And that's about the equivalent to our total budget, $190 million. In addition, since 2013, and I just went to a conference this week on facilities, it's been the norm that the increase in construction costs over the years, they've increased over 7% from 15-16. So in addition to $190 million, over the course of the years, there's inflation. The cost of construction has increased, and just from last year, the cost of construction went up 7%. Okay? So these are just a few pictures of some of our current facilities. If you take a look up here to the left, this is where we are now in the cafeteria. These are pictures of the high school, the fencing, some of the restrooms, the air conditioners that are on top of these structures here. Some of the pictures of our facilities that are in desperate need of repair. This is all encompassing that $190+ million of needed repairs. Here are some pictures of some restrooms. This represents overcrowding. Just a lot of, this is one of the band rooms at one of the elementary schools. And the need for improved facilities. Play structure. Oh, go ahead, Lydia, that's okay. One of the things that was also mentioned in our facilities master plan has to do with, we have too many portables on our campuses. Too many. And the recommendation of the facilities master plan is to replace portables with permanent classroom buildings. And in order to do that, you need funding to be able to do it. The roofs on our buildings are deteriorating. Again, due to wind damage, and there are just shingles and things just blow off of the roofs. And in order to repair the roofs, which are very expensive, you need funding to be able to do that. The solution to that is to provide and repair and modernize and get new roofs on these buildings. Again, with the restrooms. The restrooms are not Title 24 compliant. So what are the recommendations? To remodel the restrooms so that they are Title 24 compliant. There was an issue regarding the drinking fountains. That most of the drinking fountains on the campus are not Title 24 compliant. Again, remodel, fix, and correct those drinking fountains and make them compliant. And how do you do that? You need funding to be able to do that. Doors, hardware, threshold. Most doors and frames are very old and are in need of repair or replacement. Most doors have hardware and thresholds that are not Title 24 compliant. Again, the solution is to replace and repair those doors so that they are Title 24 compliant. Again, accessible pathway to become Title 24 compliant. How do you do that? You provide stripping, signage, and you grade the surface so that it is Title 24 compliant. Wayfinding and signage. The signage for the room names and restrooms don't conform to Title 24, and they should include Braille for those that are visually impaired. And again, the solution to that is to make them Title 24 compliant. And in order to do that, you need funds or funding to be able to do that. So, instead of going slide by slide and just giving you a presentation, I've heard a lot of questions and comments and different things in the community regarding Measure B. So I've taken a few, I think 5 or 6 frequently asked questions, FAQs, and that's how I'm going to base my presentation. And then after we go through this part, then there could be an additional portion for you to ask questions that I plan to respond to on today. And if I can't for whatever reason, then I will take your information and respond at a later date. So I'm going to get started with some of the frequently asked questions regarding Measure B. Question number 1, what is Measure B? Why Measure B? Well, it's a local bond measure that's on the ballot for November 8th of 2016, and it's for the purpose of upgrading, updating, and modernizing Calexico Unified School District schools. This bond program will span over 10 to 12 years with a first phase focus on Calexico High School, which is why we're having a meeting here, because the focus is Calexico High School. What do we want to do at Calexico High School, or what will this bond do at Calexico High School? It's going to build capacity at Calexico High School. And when I talk about what building capacity is, I'm going to direct you over to this rendering here, this drawing here, where this is the current aerial view of Calexico High School. And when we talk about building capacity, that means increasing the number of classrooms so that we can better support our students, so that we can move the 9th grade campus to this campus and all of our students are on one campus. If you look at this rendering, there are 4 buildings here that would be added, and then the removal of trailers off of the campus and have some buildings here on campus. By doing so, we will remove approximately 34 relocatable buildings, add approximately 64 classrooms for a net gain of 30, which means we're going to add 30 classrooms to this campus, which would then incorporate or encompass the 9th grade students. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about building capacity here at the high school. Also, let's go back in. The second phase would then address the junior high school needs. So after we're done making changes and making those changes here at the Calexico High School, then we're going to take a look at the junior high school. And the idea would be moving those students from the 9th grade campus here to the main campus, where that on the other side, where the Dianza or the 9th grade campus is, that could be the new permanent structure in Enrique Camarena Junior High School, where those students would have the ability to have a full campus with permanent gym, locker rooms, cafeteria. It would be a school, a permanent structured school, and allow for the students, those junior high school students, to have a school versus a portable school, which is what they have now across town. The third phase would address the elementary school needs. That there are some of our elementary schools that, as a part of that facilities master plan, were recommended for tear down. So it would address those needs and allow the district to be able to modernize and upgrade the elementary schools that are in desperate need of assistance. Also, some additional funding. There's also another bond measure that's on the ballot for November 8th, and that's Prop 51. And what that is a statewide construction bond. And with the passage of Prop 51, it also, in addition to the local bond money, which is Measure B, it will also support the school with state assistance. So we'll be able to get matching funds to support the needs of our facilities here at Calexico Unified School District. We're eligible to receive approximately más o menos 20 million in state matching funds. So, in addition to what we're going to get, the $22 million, which is our bonding capacity, we are eligible for about $20 million in state funds, which would be about $40 to $43 million to upgrade our facilities here at Calexico Unified School District. And imagine what $43 million could do to this facility. Imagine those buildings. Imagine an upgraded cafeteria, because this is the high school cafeteria. So imagine what that could do here with the passage of this bond. And just so that you know, the district's budget, we cannot afford $197 million of repairs for our schools. There's no way, with the growth, with the class size reduction, there just isn't any way that we can. The majority of our district's budget is supported by anywhere from 80 to 85% in salaries and benefits for our employees. So imagine if our budget is $100 million, 85 million of that goes to salaries and benefits. So in between that $15 million, it goes for textbooks, it goes for lights, it goes for all of the needs to maintain and operate the school. So there's no way that we can come up with $191 million to upgrade the facilities, which is why Measure B is on the ballot for your vote. Also, what this bond does, it allows the district to sell up to $45 million in general obligation bonds to fix Calexico schools. What that means is, over the course of 10 to 12 years, the district will be able to sell up to $45 million. Like I had mentioned before, currently our bonding capacity is $22 million, that's what we would get at this time. To upgrade the facilities. How are these bonds repaid? They are repaid by the district over a 25 to 30-year period through property taxes from all eligible taxable properties within the district's boundaries. So this affects your homeowners and those that pay taxes or pay property taxes. That's where these funds come from. Again, one of the big questions was, how can this money be spent? Well, it can only be spent and used for buildings, other infrastructure, construction, modernization, and equipment. Those are the only things that this bond and these bond funds can be used for, not for salaries and benefits, just to upgrade the facilities. That's what these funds can only be used for. And again, this was the rendering that I discussed just a little while ago. And maybe you can see it a little better up here. Here are those new buildings here, which would build capacity and allow for the 9th grade campus to come to the main campus. Okay, frequently asked question number 2. Will there be a tax increase? How much will it cost? So the answer to that question is yes. There will be a tax increase to property owners of approximately $60 a year per $100,000 of the assessed property value. Just a note and something to remember, assessed value is different from your selling price. So, who had the Starbucks? Who said Starbucks? And how much did you say? $4.75. $4.75. So if we took a look at, if you had a house that was assessed at $100,000, the total cost or tax payment to you would be $60 for the year. That's how much in increased taxes you would pay. What that equates to per month is $5 per month, and the total cost per day is about 16 cents a day. Okay? So with that one Starbucks coffee for the month, you've almost met that. Okay, who told me Subway? How much was Subway? $8.50? So again, and the median assessed value for the houses in Calexico is $150,000. That's the average. So again, for a house that costs that's assessed value at $150,000, the total cost for the year would be $90. That would be your tax increase for the year is $90, which is the equivalent to $7.50 per month or 25 cents a day. If your property is assessed at $200,000, your total cost for the year, or what you would pay in increase in taxes, would be $120. Your total cost or tax increase for a month would be $10, and it's 33 cents per day. If your property was assessed at $250,000, your total cost for taxes for the year would be $150, $12.50 for the month, and it's the equivalent to 41 cents per day. If your property was assessed at $300,000, the total tax you would pay for the year is $180. The total cost per month, $15, and it's the equivalent to 49 cents per day. And I think someone mentioned that a ticket to Disneyland was how much? $110? Okay, thank you. Okay, frequently asked question number 3. Will this bond take the place of the Measure J bond and tax? The answer to that question is no, it won't. No, it won't. This bond is Measure B, and it is additional. It's in addition to the Measure J bond and tax. So like you would see it on your property tax statement, your assessed value and the other taxes, so it would be Measure J, and then there would be another measure or Measure B for whatever the value of your assessed property. So this is in addition to the Measure J, bond and tax. Frequently asked question number 4. Why weren't all of the Calexico Unified School District facilities repaired, upgraded, completed with the Measure J bond? Well, I didn't work here back then, but I can give you my best guess and what I believe to be true. There were very unrealistic expectations of that bond. When I took a look at the documents, it was just kind of overwhelming to see everything that was supposed to be fixed with a very minimal amount of money. My opinion, and what I believe to be true, that there were too many projects that were listed to complete, again, on a minimal amount of funds. Bottom line is that the bond overpromised and underdelivered. That's it. There's no other explanation to that. Not enough community updates, so not enough information being shared with the community regarding that bond, regarding what's going on with that bond. No compliant citizens oversight committee, just out of compliance. But I would like to share with you what's happening today regarding the Citizens Oversight Committee. Today, we do have a compliant Citizens Oversight Committee. As a matter of fact, I think some of the members are here this evening. It has been reestablished or with 9 members. As a matter of fact, there was a balance in that Measure J bond fund, and the committee voted for the district to move forward with an all-weather track, which I know you've seen some construction moving over there on the football field. And since we're in CIF right now, we can't move forward with the track at this moment, but by the end of January, Calexico High School is going to have a new all-weather track, and that is because that's what a compliant Measure J or Citizens Oversight Committee can do. You can make sure that the funds are being appropriately spent and directing those expenditures. Frequently asked question number 5. How will we know if the Measure B money is being spent appropriately and benefiting students? Well, let's talk about what the state says first. First of all, state law requires a Citizens Oversight Committee. So that's the law. And because this administration is very in tune with abiding by the law and doing what we should do, then we certainly are going to adhere to what the state of California, what the law says. minimally on the Citizens Oversight Committee, you should have 7 members, and it should be very well represented of the community. It should have parents, it should have business owners, it should have all of you folks that are a part of the community that pay those taxes and that make sure that the district is in compliance with spending the funds according to how the bond was written. So that's why it's important to have a functioning and a compliant Citizens Oversight Committee. But also, you approve only and expenditures for the projects that are listed in the bond documents. That committee reviews the expenditures that are taking place and how the district is spending the money to make sure it's in accordance with the bond and how it can be spent. Also, in the Citizens Oversight Committee, there's a third party. The committee engages a third-party auditor to come in and review the expenditures to make sure that the district and the committee are in compliance and that those funds are being appropriately spent. Most importantly, give updates to the community and the school board at regular board meetings so that the school board is abreast. Everyone that can tune in via the computer or streaming live, they can go back and watch or take a look at it if you want to know what's going on with the bond, because the committee is communicating this information accurately and appropriately to the school board and to the community. Frequently asked question number 6. What happens if the bond does not pass? Well, certainly, the district cannot support the $190+ million of district-wide needs. So that's already been expressed tonight. And what happens? Well, a lot of the projects will be postponed and will have to go on the back burner, and we'll continue to band-aid repair on an emergency basis only. That there more than likely won't be a new cafeteria anytime soon. And when we're doing these Band-Aid repairs, well, it comes out of the district's general fund, and there is an impact. There's an impact to the classroom. It takes away from academic programs and operations, so just something to consider. And again, other school improvements will be delayed, and the Calexico Unified School District needs will continue to escalate over time. So this is the community engagement portion, where you can ask questions, and I'm going to do my very best to answer. Anything I can't answer today, I certainly will follow up at a later date. So if you have a question, I would appreciate if you would raise your hand, and I'm going to give you the microphone, and go on. So,
No singing. I can sing.
oh, sure. And she's asked if you could state your name and then ask your question, please. Thank you.
My name is Lorena Milor Montes. I am a resident of Hartstone, and as many of you see, I am one of the very vocal against Measure B. And I want to explain to the community why I am against Measure B. I currently pay CFDs for the city where I live. I pay Measure J, and if this measure passes, it'll be a third bond. And one of the major reasons I'm against this bond, my community paid $6.5 million to the school district back in 2006. The previous administration did nothing to help us out. We wanted a change in boundary maps to Cesar Chavez. That's what our community wanted. I spoke to both the superintendent and Miss Randall. Myself, that's the only thing I wanted, because our current district is Kennedy Gardens. Currently, my kids do not attend the school district in Calexico. I attend a private school in El Centro. I just received a 30% cut in my paycheck last week. I love Calexico. I am a Bulldog at heart. I was junior class president. My senior year, I was school board representative in 1992. I served under Gerald Beatty. So I have history with Calexico. I love this place. I am a Bulldog. But with all due respect, Ms. Randall comparing a Starbucks, the school district's not going to tell me where to spend my money. I'm going to spend my money where I want to spend my money. She has a popcorn on there. During the summer, the Calexico also has Measure H, City of Calexico, where we pay extra cents to Calexico. Now, this year, Calexico residents did not enjoy where the city would give the kids movie tickets to go see a movie for free, where a lot of your children would get to see a movie for free. This year, that money went to the swimming pool. Now, we enjoy that money with the swimming pool. My kids did not get a free movie. So, I have not taken my kids to see as many movies as they could this year because of that. Because my choice is to pay for private school. That's my choice. I spend my money like I want to spend my money, not like the school district tells me to spend my money. Like I said, that is my choice. So if my property taxes go up, again, because of the bad administration that Measure J decided to spend paying salaries for janitors and other things, not these ladies, but that's what happened. So, you know what, that's why I'm voting no on Measure J. Also, Ms. Randall was saying, and I'm sorry, but she was saying that this bond is $42 million. I didn't bring the flyer with me. I just received this flyer in the mail yesterday. It says it's a $30 million bond. There's no $30 million in her presentation tonight. One of my friends and neighbors just recently got blocked from this Facebook page. I don't think that's right. Like, I put it on the Facebook page. All this propaganda is being paid with taxpayers' money. I'm a taxpayer. I have the right to give my opinion. We're not being belligerent. We're not offending anyone. We're just giving our opinion. Just like I said in my Facebook page, we live in America. We're here to say what we feel. You are here to say what you feel. Just like Ms. Ambriz greeted me when I came in. We have the right to have our own opinion and greet each other. Rightfully, like people. You know, we're not Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton here in Calexico. And unfortunately, we here are not the City Council of Calexico. Let's get along here, people. Let's agree to disagree. And that's why I'm voting for Measure D. If you want to know, ask us more questions why we don't want to vote for this measure. Ask us afterwards. We can be friends and have coffee at McDonald's because I can't afford to have Starbucks every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for acknowledging that it's not this administration that was involved in the Measure J. And I just want to comment, and thank you. In no way was I insinuating how to spend your money regarding to Starbucks and to the movie theater and to Subway. It was just for comparison's sake, or that's kind of what it was. In regards to, this is an information-only session. My role here is not to encourage you to vote yes or no. It's just for information. So I just want to make that clear. As a district administrator, it is our job and our obligation to make sure that you have all of the information. And that's what the purpose of this meeting tonight is, just for information only, and to answer any of the questions that you may have.
So in the future advertisement, can you guys put your EIN number, which is your nonprofit?
So this is not the campaign committee. This is the Calexico Unified School District. And,
So who's paying for the campaign?
Okay, so I'm not a member of the campaign committee. I think I am.
For the campaign?
So I'm not a member of the campaign committee, but I do believe
My
that,
question is, who is paying for
well, the Calexico Unified School District is not paying for the campaign. I can guarantee you that. That I can guarantee. But we are, again, this is for information only. The campaign, right, the campaign committee, this is information. I am not a member of that committee.
Does anybody here have the answer? Who's paying for the campaign?
Well, you know what, I can speak on that real briefly. I facilitate the Measure J Citizens Oversight Committee. That's my role, is to facilitate the Oversight Committee. So as a part of the Oversight Committee for Measure J, what the committee did do as a part of the campaign that happened way back when, there was a balance in the account of $30,000 in the campaign committee account. Had nothing to do with the school district. That was the campaign piece. There was $30,000 left over. What the Citizens Oversight Committee decided to do, and there's minutes, and those minutes can be found on our website and so on and so forth, regarding the Citizens Oversight Committee, not the campaign. I just want to continue to make that clear distinction there. That the Oversight Committee said, well, since the district is going to go out for another measure, then we think that that would be a well worth investment to have the remaining Measure J campaign funds transferred to the new measure whenever it becomes. So I believe that is how that campaign committee is currently funded. And Mr. Horton is I don't know if you were coming up to or raising your hand to speak or not, but oh, okay. So again, the campaign for Measure B is not funded by Calexico Unified School District and tax dollars. I just want to make sure to put that out there again. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuevas, you had a question, and please state your name and ask your question. Thank you.
My question had to do with the rebuilding of the high school. I was curious to know what kind of buildings will replace the portables at the high school? Will they be two-story buildings, or because of the capacity for students? I've been really engaged in thinking about two-story buildings instead of one-story buildings.
Thank you, Mr. Cuevas, for your question. And you are absolutely correct. The idea would be to place two-story buildings on campus. So where you see these, actually, Eddie, can you put it back up on the screen, please? Thank you. So in those areas where those red blocks are, and it's going to come up here in just a second. Thank you, Eddie. The idea would be to put two-story buildings here, whereas in this particular building here, which you can't really see it very well, that would have 20 classrooms there. And with the different configurations, and I think at the lower end there would be a building that has 12 classrooms in it, but it's still two-story. So thank you for your question, Mr. Cuevas. Sure. State your name.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Mr. Chong. My question is, my house is worth 150 grand right now, right? It's approximately $100. What in 10 years, what goes up to $300,000? And the county assesses it to $300,000. Does my payment go up to $200? Yes.
I'm going to answer you on that. So, yes, that is correct. That is correct. And did everyone hear his question?
No.
So the question was if my property is currently assessed at $100,000 or something around that nature. If it's assessed at that, if in 10 or 15 years, oh, I'm sorry. So so this is just an example. If it's currently at, let's just say $200,000. If in 10 or 15 years it's assessed at $300,000, would the annual payment go up to that assessed value? The answer to that question is yes, it would. Mr. Horton, please state your name and ask your question.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Horton. I'm a class of 1970. And just to answer one of the questions about the money that's coming for this measure, it is not public money. The money is donated to move forward with the yes or Measure B.
That's not what you told me today over the phone.
What did I say, Lorena? I said nothing about that.
But I asked you during the phone today. You didn't tell me that.
Okay, so out of respect.
Okay.
Let's ask your question.
Okay.
And,
Here's something.
Thank you.
In reference to the Measure B, and not to be disrespectful to anybody here, most of you, I'm sure, have went to school here or have children in the school. And I'm sure most of you want your kids to have the best quality, the best schools possible. Now, everything has a price, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not going to say that Measure J did all the right things, but we learned from it, and we move forward on it. And we're trying to move forward to improve the schools here and do everything that's right with an oversight committee. Once, if Measure B is approved, it will not be business as usual at once upon a time. Because when Measure J had its issues, I spoke against it, what was going on.
How many properties do you own in Calexico?
How many properties do I own on the outside of
In
Calexico?
Calexico.
Okay, so.
Wait.
So please answer your question. I'm the one that's answering
He's up there with the mic.
Okay,
So,
listen, I want to say one thing. My parents passed away, it is still part of the school district, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Corbin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So just, like I said, the idea here is just to get information and to be respectful of one another. If you have a question, please direct your question to me. I'm here to answer the questions, and I just want us to, in the spirit of
Is he
information,
representing a group for the school district?
not for the school district, no, it's not. No. No.
I have a question.
Question? No. Okay. Please state your name and answer the question. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Javier Jimenez, another unhappy person living in the Parksville area. I already pay $6,300 a year in taxes, which my neighbor said that back in 2006, we paid $6 million to the Calexico Unified School District, and we didn't see any benefit. Now, why are we getting taxed twice for the school? We paid $6 million originally. Now we're paying Measure J. Now we're going to be paying Measure B, and we don't see any improvement. And my comment is, I want to see a list of those persons that donated for this $30,000 that you are talking about. And I want to make sure that if Measure B passes, that people didn't benefit from the passage of Measure B, that they're going to end up getting a contract, and if they do, I want everything to be scrutinized correctly, because usually when somebody donates money for something like this, they end up being the beneficiaries. And lastly, why are we going to trust the Calexico Unified School District where you just said clearly that the state law was broken because there was no oversight committee, and they were overpromised and under-delivered? Why are we going to trust you now if we're going to pay for another teacher, another tax?
Thank you. It's a great question. So, like I mentioned before, I didn't work here then, and when there wasn't an oversight committee. There wasn't a compliant oversight committee, and like I mentioned today, there is a compliant oversight committee for Measure J. And as I stand here as the chief fiscal or financial officer of Calexico Unified School District, it's my duty to make sure that they're in compliance. I think I know we have a board who's very interested and has a vested interest in making sure that we're doing things the right way. There's been, and thank you for sharing about the Hearthstone. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of what the Hearthstone or what that's all about. So I'm going to just share just very briefly what that is. So back in, I believe in 2006, there was a housing development called the Hearthstone Development of Properties, and that entered into an agreement with the city with the city. It's called Community Facilities District, which is a CFD, where I believe it was for $15 million. And as a part of this bond or this special tax that's a part of the Hearthstone development, these residents pay additional taxes. Well, the idea was that there was going to be this big development. Well, after the first year or after the first phase of this housing, it went bankrupt. So there's been made mention of $6 million that was paid to the school district. Well, that's true. The district doesn't deny that. We did receive a little over $6 million in fees or developer fees. Well, that's to mitigate, or to help mitigate some of the costs of the schools. I'm trying to think of how to say that, of development. So the district at that time used those funds to do some modernization at some of the schools, well, here at the high school. As a matter of fact, we went and looked back, I believe there was was it the science wing? The science wing that was used or was built with those funds, that was in excess of $7 million for that. The Banner, thank you. That was used for those funds, and it's the district's discretion to use developer fees to upgrade the facilities as they see fit. And at that time, that's exactly what the district at that time chose to
I
do.
have a quick comment.
Yes.
The impact that our community was going to create in the school district was based on a community of 500 houses. In reality, only 250 houses were created. So why this money didn't went down to 3 million and our CFPs readapted? Why we were penalized for the total community growth of 500 houses when in reality only 250 houses were built?
Well, that was the agreement between the city and the developer. At the time, what was agreed upon was that the school district would receive the funds up front, and that's what happened. That was the agreement. That, and I have no other answer for you other than that. That was the agreement. Is there anybody who absolutely has to have it in English so that I can just speak in Spanish correctly? Oh, me? Sorry. Then I will speak in English. Okay, as Ms. Randall said, Measure J happened several years ago. There was an audit report done about 5 years ago where it was determined that it wasn't spent the way it should have been spent. She wasn't here, I wasn't here, and quite frankly, the administration and school board that currently sits were not here. They were not in office, and they were not in authority at the time. Having said that, Calexico Unified School District has gone through several ups and downs in the last few years, many of them financial. If you remember, about 3 or 4 years ago, we were on the verge of a state takeover because of fiscal crisis. Cash flow was an issue. This administration, starting with my immediate predecessor, I won't take full credit for it, starting with my immediate predecessor, Mr. Richard Fergali, and myself, and with Ms. Randall, we have made sure, along with our board's very, very keen eye oversight, because they question every cent that is spent. It's because of that we went from a negative budget to a qualified budget, and for the last 3 or 4 years have been able to sustain a positive budget for our school district. When you take that into consideration, given the many needs that the school district has, that is a big feat. We're asking that you become informed about Measure B. We're asking that when you go to the polls on November the 8th, you make an informed decision. I'm not here to tell you yes. I'm not here to tell you no. I'm here to tell you to make an informed decision. What I will tell you, however, is, and Ms. Minor Montes and I had a conversation a few weeks ago, and I did tell her, can you tell that we spent about $3 million at Calexico High School this summer? And she said no, which is true. But in this district, just this summer, we spent almost $12 million throughout the different schools because we received what we call the ERP, emergency repair dollars. And what that was money that was promised from the state many years ago, but they told us it has to be spent on ABC. They said it has to be spent on infrastructure, it has to be spent on plumbing, it has to be spent on roofs, ceilings, ACs, and it depended on the school.
Calexico High School, this looked like a war zone this summer. This whole front of the school was dug up because we were doing new plumbing, new pipes, everything. Dual, Rockwood, Kennett Gardens, Mains, they all received some form of ERP dollars. And it was spent to the last cent. And then at plus $20,000. We spent $20,000 more because we just recently did a change order. And usually change orders cost the community more money. Yes, it does. However, this change order was different. We were so good with our contracts and making sure that our contractors and our architects were watching the bottom line, which was the money, and providing quality work to the district. And they did, and it actually came in under budget. To the point where we had about $200,000 left over. We either gave the $200,000 back or invested it in the district in projects similar to the ones that we worked on this summer. We did the wise thing. We invested those $200,000 and it cost us about $20,000 more, but our schools got more work done. Additionally, about a year and a half ago, we received about $4 million of one-time funds, unrestricted one-time dollars. When the state gives us money, they usually give us restrictions. They usually say these are restricted dollars for this reason, for that reason. About a year and a half ago, they said you have $4 million, unrestricted. You choose what you want. We tossed that around and we asked our board members, what do you recommend? And of course, we know $4 million is not going to build us a school, but it will help us do significant repairs. In about, some of you have seen me look at my watch quite a bit, not just because I'm doing Fitbit, but that too. In about 15 minutes, we're going to do a ribbon cutting on Garner Gym. I am a Calexico High School graduate. I am a Bulldog too, through and through. And I graduated from here in 1985. When I was here in 1985, we used to call that the new gym. When I came back to work at Calexico High School about 15 years ago as an assistant principal, we still called it the new gym. That new gym is 49 years old this year. 49-year-old gym, and I know because it's my age. Came up in 1967. And I know that as a 49-year-old human being, I have aches and pains that go along with age. Buildings do too. They just do. When we started the renovation, so I go back to the $4 million, when we started the renovation of Garner Gym, the floor was disastrous. There were nails sticking out of the floor. We were leasing for over 9 years bleachers because the initial permanent bleachers had long been torn down. We had restrooms that were not ADA compliant. We had a stage that was not ADA compliant. We had a roof that leaked and the ACs were out of order. We invested over $2 million, almost $3 million in Garner Gym. We've invested in the football field. We've invested in bleachers that should be coming up, should be open to the public in January, along with the all-weather track, with new restrooms. So we invest as we go along when we can, when we have unrestricted dollars. But to take the general fund of any school district and say, we're going to say, give you, $100 million to build a school, then you can't do something else. So this administration, this board, even the previous board, has been very cognizant of the needs of the community, has been very aware of budget. And like I said, I'm not here tonight to tell you, vote yes or vote no. We're here to give you what the needs are, what it will cost. We're very aware of the Hearthstone community. We're very aware of the needs of the Hearthstone community. But if we don't pass a bond, or if we do pass a bond, it affects Calexico one way or the other. All we ask is you become informed, and when you go to the polls on November the 8th, you make an informed decision. Now,
tengo dos propiedades en Calexico. Decían sobre la comunidad que esta va a ser creada para poder, que van a estar como los que sean realmente aquellos que nos están destinados. Esta comunidad la va a realizar obviamente el distrito escolar, ¿verdad? Está a cargo del distrito escolar. La comunidad que van a el comité. ¿Sí es así? ¿Sí es así? Sí, pero sí es el distrito. Okay. Entonces, preguntaban que si quién era responsable de la página, decía la página B, y decían que no tenía que ver con el distrito, que era residente de Calexico, que estaba a favor de lo que es la medida. Ok, entonces, en esta página yo hice comentarios que fueron borrados, y la persona, antes de borrar mis comentarios, nos invitó a participar en ese comité. Entonces, si esa página no está hecha por el distrito escolar, ¿por qué están invitándonos a participar en ese comité? Nos dijeron que podíamos participar y después nuestros comentarios fueron borrados. Esa es una. La otra. También hubo un comentario en la misma página donde decían que la comunidad de nosotros era apego que teníamos con la ciudad, porque el distrito escolar estaba muy aparte de lo que es la ciudad y pues nosotros estábamos con eso. Pues no, realmente sí es con la ciudad, pero también es con el distrito escolar, porque como habían mencionado anteriormente, incluimos más de 6 millones de dólares al distrito escolar, con una comunidad donde vivimos, donde no tenemos una escuela, donde la escuela que nos dan no es la escuela que está más cerca de la casa, o sea, nos da la escuela de Willy Moreno. ¿Hasta dónde está Willy Moreno? ¿Hasta dónde tenemos que pasar nuestros niños para ir a Willy Moreno? Entonces, sí tenemos problemas con el distrito escolar porque no están resolviendo nuestras peticiones. Nosotros hicimos una petición al distrito donde decimos que nuestros hijos de donde estábamos nosotros presidentes fueron reubicados en escuelas de San Chávez y en la escuela de Camarena, y ustedes respondieron que no se podía porque estaban sobrepoblados. Como usted mencionaba anteriormente, están sobrepoblados porque lamentablemente tenemos la situación de la gente que viene de allá. Pues realmente ese no es mi problema. O sea, yo soy residente de Calexico, yo pago los impuestos, mis hijos tienen derecho a pagar. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que ustedes piden para resolvernos nuestra petición? ¿Qué tengo que hacer yo como madre de familia para que los hijos estén en una escuela donde merezcan ir? Aportamos 6.5 millones de dólares, más lo que estamos aportando. Si pasa ¿qué es lo que tengo que hacer yo? ¿Qué es lo que tengo que hacer yo? Tengo que ponerme en escuelas de San Chávez, tengo que ponerme en la clínica marina, con una cámara y tomar fotografías a los niños que vienen de la ciudad y decirles, mira, aquí están tantos niños, muévemelos, quítalos de aquí porque están ocupando el lugar de mi hijo. Eso tengo que hacer. No he terminado, disculpa. Y la otra cosa es, aquí son lo que yo pago en impuestos. Estamos hablando de alrededor de $400 para el distrito escolar. Si pasa la medida B, yo voy a pagar alrededor de $800. Dentro de 10 años, si suben la una propiedad, ¿cuánto voy a pagar? $1,600. Entonces, ¿cuántos Starbucks con ese dinero? Eso es lo que gracias.
Pero aquí te van a decir cómo gastas tu dinero, Ana.
Yo jamás voy a pretender decirles cómo van a gastar su dinero.
Tú no, tu compañera.
Lo que sí les voy a decir es que si ella hizo una comparación, es de simple y sencillamente decir, si es un aumento en general, ¿qué es una de las cosas que puedo hacer? Simple y sencillamente. Si una persona acostumbra, yo no, la verdad, yo no acostumbro ir a Starbucks cada día. Yo no.
Acaban de cortar el 30%, María.
Pero hay personas que dicen, ok, puedo hacer esto, puedo hacer el otro. Pero todo lo que hacemos, ya sea por nuestros hijos o por los hijos de la comunidad, es un sacrificio, yo lo reconozco. Yo de ninguna manera voy a minorizar ese sacrificio que ustedes hacen. Por motivos de lo que le llamamos las boundaries, los límites, por decir así, sí, los residentes de Hearthstone les corresponde Kennedy Gardens, les corresponde Willy Moreno. Siempre se nos hace esa pregunta, ¿y qué de los niños que vienen de Mexicali, por ejemplo? Porque creo que hizo una referencia a eso. Todo niño en Calexico, cada familia se le pide un requisito cada año para la matriculación. El requisito es comprobar residencia. Para bien o para mal, tenemos miembros de nuestra ciudadanía de Calexico. Tenemos miembros de nuestra ciudadanía que prestan sus direcciones, que rentan sus direcciones, que venden sus direcciones. Mientras que nuestra ciudadanía siga haciendo eso, seguiremos teniendo esos problemas. Por ejemplo, había una familia, y esta no era de Mexicali, pero les voy a hacer un ejemplo, porque esta familia fue a visitar a varios de nuestros miembros de la mesa directiva. Y ellos, como miembros responsables, me trajeron el problema. María, ayuda a esta familia, ayuda a esta muchacha, es madre soltera. Ella vive para el lado de la mesa. Pero su mamá, que cuida al niño, ella vive a la vuelta de la manzana de César Chávez. Y yo le dije, ok, pues déjame investigo bien el caso. Y le pregunté a la muchacha, ¿dónde vives? Vivo a 2 cuadras de la mesa. Le corresponde la mesa a tu hijo. Pero mi mamá me lo cuida aquí, entiendo. Pero para dejar matricular a tu hijo en César Chávez, tengo que sacrificar voy a usar a la señora Lima Montes, voy a sacrificar a una de las criaturas de la señora Montes que vive a 1 cuadra. No. Y tuve que hablar con los miembros de la mesa directiva, decir, ¿puedo hacer obra benéfica y permitirle a esta muchacha que entre? Pero ¿a cuál familia de aquí, de esta área, tengo que desubicar? Entonces, sí son problemas muy serios, vivimos al lado de una frontera, no es único a Calexico, esto sucede a lo largo de la frontera, en los distritos escolares. Pero sin embargo, estos niños están aquí, les tenemos que dar escuela, mientras que ellos estén comprobando residencia en nuestro distrito escolar. Quisiera decir que no sucede, pero es muy obvio, empezando julio y agosto, si van al supermercado, a Soul Market, si van a la pizza, ya ven que hay los volantes que ponen en las paredes. Rento mi dirección. ¡Wow! Okay. Lo vemos en Facebook, como luego dicen, lo vemos en el Facebook. Y hemos corrido, ya son un poco más astutos. ¿Por qué? Porque antes ponían la dirección. Un momentito. Antes ponían la dirección. Ya no lo ponen. ¿Por qué? Porque cuando ponen la dirección, la señora Ramírez, que está acá a mi derecha, su departamento se encarga de verificar. Y hubo alguien que puso la dirección hace un año. Ella corrió la dirección, 10 niños en una dirección con 3 diferentes apellidos. ¿Ok? Indagamos un poquito más, de esos 10 solamente 2 pertenecían a esa residencia. Se les da la carta de 3 días, se les dan de baja. ¿Qué creen? Al 5º día regresan con una dirección nueva. La ciudadanía de Calexico se tiene que unir para el bien de su comunidad. Bueno, son las 7:20. Sigan mandándonos preguntas, les voy a dar el micrófono de nuevo. Les animo a que nos sigan mandando preguntas. Con todo respeto se las contesto. Espero no ofender a nadie, esa no es mi intención. No es la intención de la mesa directiva ofender a nadie. Entendemos que hay una necesidad muy crítica en el Hearthstone, pero hay una necesidad sumamente crítica en la comunidad entera de Calexico. Señora, disculpe.
Nada más que porque ya había dicho antes que el problema, como dijeron, no, como usted, escuelas ciudadanas, no, el distrito tampoco resuelve sus peticiones. Nosotros somos una comunidad de las que más aportamos al Calexico y somos las comunidades que más carecemos y el distrito nos está apoyando. Es por eso que estamos haciendo la lucha. Nos duele el bolsillo y no recibimos nada a cambio ni de la ciudad ni de los ciudadanos. Gracias.
Ok, pues vamos a dar clausura a esta reunión y les invitamos a que nos acompañen a unos piececitos acá atrás al gimnasio. Vamos a reinaugurar al nuevo gimnasio de 40